Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Shades of Red podcast. With me are Cam and Levi. Cragen cannot join us this week for he has other obligations somewhere. This week we're going to start with picks. So we're going to go through last week's picks and then do the picks this week. And then after that, we will discuss other games from this past week and upcoming games. Levi, how did we do last week?
Everybody had a winning record, but great.
Nice.
Joey and me went 7-6. Cam went 9-4. KME Cragen went a solid 5-8.
It's those biased picks.
Cragen got the first 5 of 6 right, and then proceeded to get every single one wrong after that.
5-1 to 5-6.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he picked Florida State over Clemson. That one was fucking nuts.
That must have been for narrative sakes or something like that, because there was no logical reason why. I mean, they were close. It's not like it was impossible. It wasn't likely.
It was like 34-13 or something at one point. I think they just kind of Clemson. At the end of the third, it was like 34-13. I think Clemson just kind of gave up.
Yeah. The same reason he picked Stanford over Oregon in week 1 or week 2. That we started this, not the actual second week, but it was the second week that we had gotten the podcast back.
The only ones that all of us got wrong were James Madison and USC.
Yeah, thanks a lot, JMU.
Yeah, JMU sucked.
Their defense was horrific.
And they almost made a comeback. I think they only lost by like 4.
I was very shocked when I saw that score.
I was too. It was like 28-14 when I saw it at one point.
Yeah, it's just the chaos of the Sun Belt, man.
So we'll never get to see if they would put a 12-0 JMU into the playoff.
True.
A banned JMU.
Not banned, more or less just not allowed.
But yeah, I mean, picks were. It was a hectic week, where, we got a lot of us picked differently. Cam was the only one that picked Illinois, and that worked out. Minnesota really, I thought, was a better team.
I thought Ibrahim coming back would make a difference, but I guess not.
Yeah, they sucked. Either Illinois is that good, or Minnesota.
Their defense is legit, man.
I guess.
Cool. They're still like one of 5 teams that still haven't played a ranked team, so
in like 3 weeks, man.
There are 3 weeks. It only took them 9 games to play a ranked opponent.
Yeah. It's not their fault who they play out of the conference. The Big Ten West is kind of down this year.
I think it is their fault who they picked to play out of conference.
Was that the only one that took Syracuse over NC State?
No, Cam did.
Cam did, okay. But I was the only one to take Tennessee over Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Bryce Young played, so Cam got Alabama.
True. He did say.
I specifically said if Young was playing, I'd pick Alabama. If he wasn't, I was picking Tennessee. But, I'm fine to take that L. I'm perfectly fine taking that L. That was a great game, and Tennessee won.
It was a great game, yeah.
See, if I wasn't an NC State fan, I would have picked Syracuse, because I did think Syracuse was going to win, but I just couldn't. I was going to say it.
I didn't even know Leary was hurt. I had no idea he had a torn pec.
I knew he was
out for the season.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be out for the season. They didn't announce that till like the day before the game. Or no, they announced it that day.
Yeah.
On Saturday that he was out for the season.
Wow.
It was like at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's not going to be good for the rest of the year, but I'm still picking NC State for however long we're going to be ranked. It's not going to be long. But yeah, those are picks.
How are overall standings right now, pick-wise?
Oh, good call. Joe, you are 36-16.
Nice.
I am 34-18.
Nice.
Cam is 26-7.
I'm him.
And Cragen is 29-23.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I have 3 less wins than him, and he has 16 more losses.
Yeah. That was bad. So
I think it's the bias picks that get the Cragen, man.
Those are the ones
Like,
that get Levi.
He's picking logical, Stanford over Oregon.
Florida State over Clemson, but logical ones.
Yeah. He's seeing something we're not. It's not right, but he's seeing it.
All right. With that said, what do we have this week? Where are this week's top 25 games?
We have football games this week.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Our first game on the tap of the place. Hold on. I think what channel is this on? It's on Fox. Noon on Fox.
Big noon kickoff.
Iowa. Yeah, nobody cares about that. But speaking of big noon kickoff, they have so much power and pull that they had to do their show last week at a high school. So, anyways, noon on Fox. Iowa travels to number 2 Ohio State. Ohio State is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. Iowa won last meeting, if you remember that, Cam.
I don't really want to talk about that. It's in the past.
A couple fun facts. Iowa has not won in Columbus since 1991. And 3 of their last 4 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 10 points or less.
Yeah, I'll take Ohio State, even though I do believe it will be a closer game than it should be, just because of Iowa's defense and slow pace.
What's slow pace about Iowa? They go 3 and out every other time.
Yeah, exactly. They take their time going 3 and out, though.
I feel so bad for Iowa fans, man. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a stat that like Spencer Petras in like 29 career starts has 21 touchdown passes, while CJ Stroud currently in 6 games has 24.
I don't feel bad for Iowa fans because according to Reed, Iowa fans are terrible.
Well, he is a low-key Iowa fan.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
I'm just going to say that I would trust Petras more than Ohio State trusts Stroud because Iowa has thrown the ball more than Ohio State has this year.
That is true.
By 1, but it's more.
Well, Petras has thrown more than Stroud. I don't know overall.
You said what?
Petras has thrown more than Stroud. I don't know about overall.
Yeah, he has 1 more attempt than Stroud.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, overall, like, backups and stuff. I think they're calling for Padilla. Like, depending how Petras, he might get pulled in the second half if it gets too ugly.
You see the press conference? The guy goes, "What would be the downfall of going to the backup?" And he goes,
"Oh yeah."
Downside?
He said, "What downside?"
And the Twitter was like, "What? Have you been watching your team?"
Man. The spread is 30 points, which is like it's Iowa's defense, but like max amount of points they're gonna score is like 10 to 13 points. So really, if Ohio State can get
no fucking way. You think they score 10 points?
I mean, there's a fourth quarter for a reason.
Dude, they've scored 10 points twice this year.
I feel like we're just gonna bring in like the backups and the third stringers. They might get like one final drive and then they'll get like a field goal for the rest of the game.
I think they cover.
Yeah, I think they cover too. It just depends on like
all right.
what
Ohio State. I think Ohio State covered.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be close.
You're probably right.
I don't think this would be relatively close, regardless of where they're playing this game.
Yeah. Would be a little motivation factor if it was in
Iowa City.
Not Iowa City. What is it called?
No, it is Iowa City.
What, Kinnick? That's what I'm saying. What was
Kinnick
I thinking?
Stadium. Oh.
I still think that they would get blown up at more than 30.
It would just be kind of a nice spooky factor, though.
In front of those dying children.
Oh, man. Well, anyways, I think we all have Ohio State, and I'm pretty sure Cragen would pick Ohio State if he was here.
I am not.
I don't know. He always has the one off.
Just to put it out here, Georgia Tech pick 6. Virginia has turned the ball over every single drive that they've had it.
Good.
So just put it out there. Next game, 12 o'clock, SEC Network. UT Martin travels to number 3 Tennessee, coming off that huge win. I have no fun facts for this game because they're playing.
Wait. There is one fun fact. There was a possibility that Tennessee would have had to play this game at UT Martin Stadium if they didn't get another goalpost. But unfortunately, they got another goalpost, so it's still going to be a Tennessee home game.
That was first of all, that's not true. They have backup goalposts. They
UT
didn't
Martin
take them off their practice field. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Every school, look, NC State has not anywhere near. They missed the extra point. Oh my God. Okay. NC State has nowhere near the budget of Tennessee, and we have 8 backup goalposts. So they have backup goalposts. They just didn't want to pay for it.
Lazy fucks. Anyway.
But I will say a cool thing I saw this week is one of the UT Martin offensive linemen, he lost his house in Hurricane Ian. Yeah, Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
And Tennessee fans found it and they've raised over $40,000.
Wow.
Look at Tennessee, man. Good for them.
So they've donated almost $200,000 in the past week to a goalpost and a house.
They got their priorities straight on one of them, at least.
Yeah, the goalpost was nice.
Exactly.
Next, God, there's a lot of noon games. Noon, ABC for I think the 6th week in a row for Clemson. Number 14 Syracuse travels to number 5 Clemson. Clemson is 4-1 in their last 5 meetings. Interesting facts. The only other 2 times post World War II that Syracuse started 6-0, they finished that season undefeated.
I don't think history is going to repeat itself on this one.
And if Clemson were to win this game, well, Clemson's 7-0 right now. However, Clemson's last 5 of 7 teams that started 8-0 went on to the national championship that season.
If this game was in the Carrier Dome, I would probably take Syracuse. But since it's in Clemson, I'm going to take the Tigers.
Yeah, same with Joey. I follow his opinion on this one. I will take Clemson, but Syracuse will cover. And you know why they're going to cover? It's Sean Tucker, let's be honest. But he won't do enough to withstand DJ Uiagalelei and Clemson's. Yeah, and Clemson's defense. In the 4th quarter, they'll clutch up and get a stop. Oh, and by the way, I do pick Tennessee in that last game. I think I just needed to say, even though it was probably a given, just want it on the record.
I put it down to UT Martin, my bad. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I don't dislike Syracuse, and I'd actually like to see them win. But I think in terms of the matchup, even taking Death Valley out of it, it's not a good matchup. Syracuse really relies on the run, and Clemson's run defense is probably top 5 in the country right now.
But you got to remember, it's the Dino Babers hot seat year. He started the first 3 games on the hot seat.
Look, even if he ends up going 10-2 with losses to
Clemson and
Clemson and Wake or whatever, have they played? Wake? No, Wake and Clemson haven't played. Or
Yeah,
sorry, Wake and
no,
Syracuse
they haven't played yet.
Yeah, Wake and Syracuse haven't played.
I was gonna say Wake played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wake
so-
plays them the week before, like the next to last week of the year, week 11.
Yeah, so I think that's probably a bigger game for them. I mean, this is going to be the biggest game of the season, but I just don't think. So I picked Clemson. Noon again, ESPN. Number 21, Cincinnati travels to SMU. Cincinnati leads the series all time against SMU 5-1. The last 2 of 3 games that were played at SMU, Cincinnati won those games by 29 or more points. And SMU has given up 30 or more points in the last 4 games.
So I guess you know what this might be. ACC, not ACC, AAC shootout possibly. But I think Cincinnati gets the W. I know they've been kind of slow the past couple of games, but I feel like they'll get the job done and they'll cover the 3.5 points it's showing me. And I think they'll win by like 10 points and continue to try and go for their three-peat of the conference before they leave and go on to the Big 12.
Who did they lose to? Arkansas.
They lost to. Oh yeah, Cincinnati lost to Arkansas.
Week
SMU
1.
lost at Maryland, home to TCU, and at UCF.
Yeah, give me Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati's quarterback is god awful, but I think SMU is more god awful. So
Yeah.
I'm going Cincinnati. The spread though is only 3.5.
Yeah, I think this game just comes down to coaching, honestly.
Well, that's not good.
Well, I think Fickle is the better coach than SMU's coach.
Who's SMU's coach?
I don't know.
Say his name. Say his name, Joey.
They don't deserve it. 3-3. You don't deserve your name to be said. Rhett Lashley.
But yeah, I would not be surprised if this is a game that Cincinnati does lose in the American, but they shouldn't. Back to the Power 5.
That explains why the quarterback's so good. Anyway.
Number 7, Ole Miss. What a team that this team's been so far. They travel to LSU. I have a couple things I have to say about this before I go into picks, but I'm going to say this first. So LSU's up 4-1 in the last 5 games. The home team has won the last 8 of 10 meetings between these schools. And the last time Ole Miss started 8-0, so if they were to win this game, they would be 8-0. The last time Ole Miss started 8-0, they were national champions that season. Before we do a pick, why in God's fucking name is LSU favored?
Because they're the
at
home team.
They're at home, man.
Like you said, the last 10 games, 8 of 10, the home team won.
Vegas is willingly putting the number 7 team in the country underdogs to Brian Kelly.
Yes.
Fucking stupid.
Well, I know what Levi's going to pick.
Hammer the line. Hammer the fucking spread. Ole Miss. LSU sucks. Fuck you guys.
Joe, you want to go up next? I'll let you follow up that.
Ole Miss.
You already know
LSU
I just hate Brian Kelly. I pray on the downfall of that man every single day. Ole Miss by 72.
Ole Miss lost at home to Mississippi State, which good team, but not as good as Ole Miss. They lost to Mississippi State by 15, and they are favored against Ole Miss.
They almost blew it to Auburn last week too.
4 times in that, and never LSU.
Stupid. Who are you picking, Cam?
I'm picking Ole Miss by 3.
Wait, why did I fucking mark down LSU?
They want to use LSU.
I marked me and Joey's LSU. Ole Miss. So irritating. I don't get it.
It's only because they're at home.
I know, but look. Their home games are so.
For the record, Cragen did pick Syracuse over Clemson.
That is not surprising. Oh wait, no, LSU beat Mississippi State, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think they did.
They're 7-0.
They only lost to Florida and Florida State. Actually, no, they beat Florida. They lost to Tennessee and Florida State.
No.
Oh, you're talking about last year? Oh, never mind.
I think it's stupid to have them as favorites. But we'll see. Watch that backfire my ass so hard.
You're so confident.
I just want Brian Kelly to fail.
Yeah, me too. He can go grind on players somewhere else.
Hopefully somewhere not in America. Go to Italy with Art Briles.
Yeah, and then get shunned.
College game day, number 9, UCLA travels to number 10, Oregon, 3:30 on Fox. Oregon is up 4-1 in the last 5 meetings, and they are on a 3-game winning streak against the Bruins. Oregon hasn't lost at home to UCLA since 2004.
Jesus.
And the last time that UCLA was in a top 10 matchup was 2001, where they won against Washington.
I think both teams obviously are competing for a lot here. Both quarterbacks trying to really make a statement, especially UCLA and DTR with the potential Heisman run. I like UCLA in this one. I don't care if it's in Eugene. I think they're just trying to prove more at this point.
I think this is Oregon's last shot right now. I feel like they've been really underrated since they got destroyed in the season opener against Georgia. They're now higher than they were at the start of the season. They're 10 now. They started off at 11, and they're at home. And they know if they lose this game, they're done. It doesn't matter if they win the Pac-12; they won't make the playoffs. So I'm gonna go against the grain, and I think they're gonna stop DTR's Heisman run and undefeated season for a Pac-12 team again, and pick Oregon to win by 4 points.
The over-under is 71.5, and I would honestly take the over on that. Both are very high-powered offenses, or just really bad defense. I'm not sure yet.
I think Oregon wins. I think, in my opinion, I think it doesn't. Well, actually, it will come down to players, but this is pretty much UCLA's first actual away game. Their only other away game this season was at Colorado. And so this is pretty much the first time they're going to deal in a stadium that actually cares about their football team. And so I just don't think that they'll be able to live up to what the atmosphere will be. So I think Bo Nix is back and they win.
Bo Nix, man.
But it's going to be a good game, and I don't think strongly to Oregon, but I just think since it's UCLA's first actual away game, they might struggle, and so that's why I got them.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised UCLA wins, but I mean Oregon, I feel like they got something. I feel like they send a message with this game. They'll show the world that they're still to be taken seriously. Just don't look at what happened in week 1.
Yeah, the week 1 game isn't a good indicator of their season. It's Georgia. Obviously, and then look, and that's the thing is, Oregon could end up being what Ohio State was last year. Ohio State really sold week one and then played great the rest of the season. Until Michigan, but
It's more like 2014 Ohio State, but without the national championship aspirations. Then.
I mean, if Oregon wins out, they could be there.
Yeah, they just need Georgia to win the SEC for that case, so they can at least say they lost to. Their only loss was to Georgia. If they lose, if Georgia doesn't win the SEC, it won't.
No, I think I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know. I think that there's obviously a way. There's other ways it could happen. I mean, I don't think Clemson will drop a game, but who are the other ranked teams? Michigan,
TCU, they're undefeated.
TCU would drop one though.
I don't know if they're undefeated. I don't know. Undefeated TCU versus a one-loss Oregon. I mean, why wouldn't you give the nod to TCU? They didn't lose.
You would, but I'm saying I don't think TCU will be undefeated at that point.
Oh yeah, like, but like hypothetically, I think that they would give the shot.
Well, yeah, an undefeated team will get in there no matter what, unless you're James Madison. But
UCF, and
that's different.
Cincinnati got there after that.
Yeah. Like, what if like a 12-1 non-conference champion Georgia and Oregon 12-1 champion? That would be interesting.
Well, when would Georgia get in on the tiebreak?
They would go to Georgia because they beat them.
Yeah.
That would suck if you were Oregon, man.
Every game's important in college.
I don't know if Georgia beats Tennessee, though. So
we'll see.
We'll get there when we get there.
That's in a couple of weeks.
Next game, 3:30, Alphabet Network. Number 20 Texas travels to number 11 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is up 3-2 in their last 5 meetings. The last top 20 matchup between these schools was in 2009 on Halloween night, and Texas won that game in Stillwater, 41-14. And since 2010, actually, since 2009, actually, now that I think about it, but since 2009, the winner of the game has scored 30 plus 11 of the 13 times.
I don't think it's really going to change this year either. I think the winner will score 30 plus. I just don't see it being Texas. I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
I really thought you were leaning Texas there, but
I kind of was, but then I remembered, just kind of the last few weeks. I know Texas shut Oklahoma out, but Oklahoma didn't play well against anyone up to that point. That was in conference. But Oklahoma State's proved me wrong the last few weeks. I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
They lost last week.
Yeah, but it was close. And they were really winning for a great majority of the game. Duggan had to make a big comeback.
Yeah, I feel like the Texas hype after the 49-0 game, I feel like it was on an all-time high, and then they struggled to beat Iowa State. Now, don't get me wrong, Iowa State isn't a bad team, but I feel like that could have been the time for Texas to really show everyone that wasn't just a fluke. And they kind of they don't get me wrong, Texas played fine. Ewers played pretty good. Bijan Robinson got 130 something yards, but I thought they'd kind of blow out, or not blow out, but at least handle their business with Iowa State more. And like Joey said, Oklahoma State was in control of the majority of that game. They just had it let it get away from them at the very end. And Oklahoma State's at home, and I feel like they want to just get back into prime Big 12 contention since they're now behind the 8 ball with TCU now. So I feel like they're gonna upset. Yeah, they're gonna upset Texas and obviously cover because Texas is favored.
Yeah. I agree. I bet don't talk bad about future Nebraska coach Matt Campbell now.
Yeah.
He keeps it close in every game, even if he loses.
I think Texas wins.
Any reason?
Any football reason?
Yeah, there's some football reason there because I actually like Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you picked him in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think judging a team off an Iowa State game is like either actually judging a team off either Iowa team is I don't think is good just because those teams are so bizarre that I mean they play low scoring one possession football and it's just both Iowa teams it's just what they are and so I think it's a good Iowa State's a good team to have that against and like show that you can like clutch out a game. I just thought Oklahoma State last week, even though it's TCU, I just thought that I just didn't think they played good at all. I don't think they played good the last 2 weeks. I thought that, they gave up 31 points to Texas Tech. That the same team that NC State pretty much gave up 7 to until garbage time. And they gave up 31 on them.
Texas gave up 37 to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say Texas just swamped.
But here's the difference.
The objective's not
Oklahoma
working.
State was fully healthy. That Texas team did not. They didn't have Ewers that game, did they? I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. That was the first week after, I think.
That was Hudson Card, and they play a lot. They play a lot more. They play a lot more disciplined with Ewers. Keep the ball more, and they do better things. They keep their defense off the field more.
Wait a minute. Oklahoma State, Evers opts out, starts NFL draft prep.
He was injured.
Oh, okay.
He was already injured.
Oh, he's a defensive tackle. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's whatever.
But I just think since Ewers isn't back, they play a lot less frantic, and so I think the composure and the consistency that Ewers brings on offense to keep the defense on the sidelines and keep them rested, I think gives them the win.
All right, well, that's that game. Let's move on to the next, an ACC battle.
Big game of the
Levi,
week.
Take it away.
I want y'all to soak in what I just said.
I'm not flipping my pick.
Nobody speaks.
Let's just move on to the game, man. I hope you know we're not soaking it in. We're just waiting for you to.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to say the next one, or I'm just going to say the next one.
Soak it in like a BYU co-ed. All right.
What?
Boston College. 3:30 ACC Network. Boston College travels to number 13 Wake Forest. Wake has won the last, or is up in the last 5 meetings 3-2. Boston College, hilariously enough, have won the last 3 games at Wake Forest. And the last 2 times that Wake Forest was top 15, which they currently are, they went on to win 11 games that season.
Yeah, they had just not hit 15 yet when they lost to Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. That was 2000. I want to say 18 or 19. It was Bud Foster's last year, maybe been 18. But they were number 17. They went to Virginia Tech and lost 31-17. But I've got Wake Forest in this one. Super high power offense. Defense is lackluster, but Boston College is just worse.
Okay, but Joey, Boston College has won the last 3 meetings in Winston-Salem.
In Winston-Salem, though. And when was the last time they faced off in Winston-Salem?
every other year.
Exactly. So it was what, 2020?
Yeah,
COVID year? And before that was 2018?
Actually, I don't think they. Hold on. Let me check. Because I don't know if they did play COVID year because they mixed up the conferences that year.
Yeah, they did. They messed up a lot that year. All I remember about that year is Tech playing NC State.
2018 was the last time they played.
Oh, see.
But Sam Hartman was the quarterback.
Yeah, but he's a man now. I mean, just look at that beard on this man.
I'm not looking at that.
Plus, Dave Clawson has a lot more of his non-ESPN 300 recruits in here. I don't know.
Well, look who it is, the man of the hour, the Alabama fan.
Reagan. But he's muted, so.
We'll wait to talk about the Alabama-Tennessee game later. We're currently in, game 10 of, 14 of the top 25
He left.
match.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Anyway.
All right, Cam, who?
I got Wake Forest.
Boston College got it.
All right, then.
Yeah, I think Wake wins. And if they don't, then it's just Wake's not destined to ever beat Boston College at home.
True.
Next, back to the group of five. I love doing that. Memphis travels to number 25 Tulane. Memphis has won is up 3-2 in the last 5 meetings. The home team has won the last 5 meetings, and this is the first time that Tulane has been ranked since Tommy Bowden in 1998.
Crazy.
Yeah, I have no reason to do this, but I'm going to take Memphis here. I guess I just don't trust Tulane that much. They were 2-10 last year. I don't really know what changed with them. I'm not a Tulane fan. I don't know anything about Tulane. I'm taking Memphis.
Jesus, what a hater. My God.
Look, Tulane has a win over a current top 20 team. They beat Kansas State.
On the road.
17-10.
Yeah, in Manhattan.
Was that the week before 9 a.m. went off?
I don't know. But
I think so.
They beat.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think Tulane wins.
They also won back. They lost 27-24 to Southern Miss and then beat Houston 27-24 in Houston.
Houston's not good.
I know.
And, actually, on that note, they won that game with their 4th string quarterback. By the way, their starter was injured. Their backup got injured in the first quarter. Their 3rd stringer got injured in the 3rd quarter, and so they had their 4th string out there, and they still won.
I'm still taking Memphis.
Oh, you can be wrong all you want. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'll take an L on this. That's fine. I don't care. But
that's cool. I'll take Tulane and the points. Give me them.
Tulane may win 27-13. I don't care, but
Billy's a Tulane hater.
Give me the tidal waves or the green waves.
Green wave.
Yeah.
Waves. Here come the tidal waves. All right.
Who are you taking?
Clock, ESPN. Number 24 Mississippi State travels to number 6 Alabama.
Who'd you take in the Tulane game?
I took Tulane.
Okay.
You said you could be wrong with Memphis, so I kind of assumed.
Alabama has won the last 18 meetings between these two. Alabama, since 2007, has only given up double digits to Mississippi State 3 times.
Jesus.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last time there was a touchdown pass from Mississippi State against Alabama. It was when Dak Prescott was there. I think I saw that stat. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was something like it's been like in the 2014 or 2016.
Yeah,
At least
that
at
was a lot.
Alabama.
Also, if Mississippi State is to hold Alabama to 20 points or less, historically speaking, they would have an 86% chance of winning that game.
Wow.
Well, it's too damn bad that's not happening. Give me Alabama, but give me Mississippi to cover because I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. 42-32. Calling it right now.
I don't know what Mike Leach and the rest of Mississippi State, staff is going to pick and choose from the Tennessee game last week, but I've seen some Alabama fans concerned that their team's been exposed for their safeties being exposed by one-on-ones with wide receivers. However, it doesn't really scare me because I think Nick Saban just absolutely chewed his guys out and told them to be better, get off the team. Give me Alabama and the points.
I just don't see a way that Alabama's first loss to Mississippi State in 19 years is in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that fan base will fucking go crazy.
All the bandwagons will leave. They'll all go to Georgia or Tennessee.
That would be if they in back-to-back weeks lost a 15 straight game rivalry and then a team that they've won 18 against. Holy shit.
They'll call for everyone to be fired except for Nick Saban, man. Everyone's gone in their eyes.
They wanted Bill O'Brien fired last year, and they almost won the Natty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't think Mississippi State's going to get the happiness that Tennessee got.
Well, the good news for Alabama fans is Bill O'Brien will probably be hired somewhere after this year.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be a offensive coordinator. Who knows?
7:30 p.m. on the Alphabet Network. Whiteout game. Minnesota travels to number 16 Penn State. Penn State is up 3-2 in the last 5 meetings. Penn State has not lost at home to Minnesota since 2003, and the last 5 out of 6 matchups, the last 5 out of 6 matchups were determined by 10 points or less.
I can see that being the case. I'm just not super impressed with Minnesota now. Maybe Illinois is just that good, but Minnesota's suffered 2 losses in a row? Yeah, 1 to Purdue, 1 to Illinois. But before that, they had played like nobody. Give me Penn State in this one.
I'm pretty sure. I think Tanner Morgan's injured. I mean, even if he was healthy, I would probably still take Penn State, but this confirms it for me. I mean, they're both 2 teams who just suffered pretty significant hard losses on the road in division last week, and they're both trying to bounce back, but it's a whiteout, and really if Penn State loses this game, Gene Franklin has a lot to say because they really cannot afford to lose another important game, especially since it's the whiteout. Give me Penn State and the points.
So he was carted off last week, Tanner Morgan, but they still have not said whether he is out or how long he's out, or if he's out at all. So it's not known yet. However, I don't think it matters. I think Penn State wins regardless. I think the only way they don't win is if Bryce Young magically transfers to Minnesota midweek.
Yeah.
Final game of the week. 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fox Sports 1. Number 17 Kansas State versus number 8 TCU. I don't know why I wrote number 6, but number 8 TCU.
Game of the week right here.
No, Kansas State in the last 5 is up 3-2, and they've won the last 3 straight.
Yeah, Heisman racer, 9 a.m. Adrian Martinez.
The last 8 times TCU was top 10, they won 10 games that season.
Yep.
So they look to be on a good historically streak. And Kansas State is the only team in the country, Division 1, 2, or 3, that has not thrown a single interception so far this season.
9 a.m. baby. With that said, I was not. I know that the last game they played was against Iowa State, and you said not to judge the team's last performance based off of an Iowa team. But I was not impressed by anything Adrian Martinez did against Iowa State. I'm way more impressed with Max Duggan. So I'm going to take TCU over Kansas State.
Yeah, I
You
think
know me. You know me, man. I'm riding the Duggan trade until it falls off, and they're at home. Give me TCU.
Yeah, I think I think just TCU's momentum right now is just through the roof, and I don't think Arizona State. Why the fuck would I say that? I don't think Kansas State near has the quality to stop that momentum. So give me TCU. I think it's kind of weird that they're only 3.5 point favorites. Well, I would expect TCU to be undefeated going into Austin against Texas in November. So
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to as well.
but yeah, that is it for the picks.
And it's currently 8:30, so unfortunately I have to pop out, and I can't review the rest of the games. Oh no, so sad. Man, that's tough. But I'm pretty sure Creighton could replace me. If not, oh well. I just have one thing to say, and it's only going to be about Tennessee, Alabama. Good for you, Tennessee. You finally got the job done. Now, just don't sell and lose to Georgia. I want some chaos going on in the SEC for once. I will see you guys next week.
All right, we'll see you next week, Cam.
Yep.
What a loser. But yeah, what game should we start with?
Well, I mean, Georgia Tech, Virginia's going on right now. Neither team is doing well. Georgia Tech's only touchdown came off of a pick six, and then they missed the extra point, which you mentioned earlier.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll talk about Tennessee, Alabama.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
It's just everything great about college football, isn't it?
I was at work, but we had that game on, and I don't think I did any work at all. I just kind of stood there and watched.
I just think if you were to just like ask like the most college like pick one game that encapsulated everything great about college football, I think it would be this game.
I agree. Absolutely.
Had everything, and then the celebrations afterwards, and the way it happened, man, it was just
Yeah, carrying the goalposts into the Tennessee River.
it was just the craziest game I've seen, and that game, I think, yeah, if that game, that's the game right there that I would have said deserved overtime, just like to build the tension.
Yeah.
But man, just it was everything great about college football, and I think if we look back on this season and Tennessee does what we think they're going to do, and Hendon Hooker does what he is capable of. This game right here is, and we said it last week that this game could be the game we look back on and talk about the start of a dynasty.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I don't think there's a limit to this program.
No, there were commits flipping their soft commits after this game. I believe there's a wide receiver who was soft committed to Ohio State, and then after he scored in his high school game or whatever, he threw up the vol sign.
Yeah.
If insurance companies really took care of you, you wouldn't need to call me. So call
Hendon Hooker's going to leave. And I mean, they're immediately replacing him with a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah, they are.
Number 2 in the nation, I think, right now, and for recruiting. And so this program has everything going for it. They have talent. They have huge budget, and maybe the most passionate fans in the country. And they got a lot going for it. And so, it's a team that I think soon you're either gonna love or hate. And but for right now, they're their underdog, even though they're number 3. It's a team that people want to see create chaos, and
yeah,
I think they're going to do just that.
I agree. I can see it, especially with Hooker at the helm.
Gotta love a Hooker.
Yeah. Now I will say he threw his first interception of the season in this game, and after that interception, I felt a little grim because watching Hooker at Virginia Tech, anytime he turned the ball over, he immediately became a little bit worse. And it generally happened late in the game. Now, the fumble at the end, also another time, because every time I saw him turn the ball over Virginia Tech and lose the game, it was over a fumble. Flashbacks of Virginia Tech at UVA in 2019, I believe. Yeah, started flashing through my mind. 2 minutes left. The snap goes off to his right, and he has to just fall on it for like a 15-yard loss. And then that pretty much just lost him the game.
He's grown a lot since.
He is way more mature. He hits the deep passes very well. Incredible accuracy.
And I mean, I think part of it, Virginia Tech is,
the staff.
He didn't have the belief that he could rebound from something like that. Whereas at Tennessee, he makes a mistake, and nobody gets irritated. No, it doesn't change the game plan.
Yeah.
Players don't change, and so he's everything that you want out of quarterback, and they won their first of big games this season, and they're gonna have another one in Athens, and that's gonna be their toughest game of the year.
I think that was actually a huge defining moment for Hooker as a quarterback, playing in a game that big. I know last year he played in Alabama, but he didn't play his best game, and it wasn't exactly close when it came down to it.
Yeah, I think.
But this game showed a lot of maturity of him. Sure, he had a turnover, but then he came back with the same amount of confidence as he did before, and didn't really let it get to him.
Yeah, he really impressed me, and I said it in previous weeks that I thought CJ was going to win the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
At the point, if the season ended, I would have voted for Hooker at that moment. I think Hooker, at this rate, has everything possible to win the Heisman.
Oh, absolutely, I agree.
He got another massive game against Georgia. And so, he's got everything going for him. And he did it without their best receiver.
Yeah, he did. He did it without their number 1 receiver.
So I think they're on a good run.
Georgia definitely presents more of a challenge defensively than I think Alabama did, but offensively, I think Tennessee's defense stacks up a little bit better.
100%. Georgia's defense is. I I mean, way better now. I mean, Alabama's defense, I thought was better than that.
I did too.
They were not good at all, and so
I don't know his name, but it's either number 13 or number 14 on the defense had like 3 or 4 pass interference penalties called on him.
Yeah, they had a rough game, and so so yeah, that game was great, and if that's not game of the season, like if there's a crazier game than that this season, then this might be the best college season of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kansas, their run is over.
Yeah, lost to Oklahoma by 10, and it wasn't even really close for most of the game.
Yeah, it wasn't. I knew that. I called it.
Yeah, you did.
It's a great to think about, but you knew it was a short-lived fantasy. It was a fun fantasy for the fans, and glad that at least the Kansas football fans got to experience it. But back to reality. Wait for basketball season.
Yeah, I mean they may still make a bowl. I mean they'll probably still make a bowl game this year.
Oh, they'll make a bowl game. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to win one more to make that, but.
But I mean, they already overachieved. I mean, they were their win-loss over/under was like 3.5 or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've already, dude. Holy fuck! They missed 2 extra points this game. But yeah, the other game that I thought would be better was the Michigan Penn State game, and it was close. And then the second half started.
Yeah. I was surprised it was as close as it was for as long as it was.
I thought Penn State would at least keep it interesting defensively.
Yeah.
But, man, Michigan just turned it on them. They went from a 67-yard touchdown to a 61-yard touchdown, like back-to-back.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then you just felt that game was over. And but that's the first big game of Michigan's season. Obviously, they got to play Ohio State late.
At the end of the year. Yeah.
And that'll be a very, very good matchup. You would think, and so I can't wait for it. Michigan looks right now, as of right now, to be the real deal. As of right now. But we'll see how they progress through the season going forward.
Yeah, another game. Another one that I really like to see and was super shocked by. Stanford traveling to South Bend and beating Notre Dame 16-14.
Yeah, Notre Dame is that's a podcast discussion in itself.
Yeah, it is.
It's bad. Notre Dame fans 100% expected to be absolutely zero drop-off and or be better.
Yeah, the players were right behind Marcus Freeman, when Brian Kelly left. Everyone wanted Freeman. Freeman got the job, and 3-3 so far this year, 1-2 at home.
You can't use the excuse of new coach, not his players, because he recruited a lot of these players.
Yeah, he was the defensive coordinator. Yeah,
and so is it? What the problem is? I won't know. I don't watch Notre Dame like that.
I don't either.
But it's not shocking and to see. I guess it's just I didn't think that they were going to be good, but the level of not good is even surprising to me.
Yeah, losing to Stanford, I mean, there's no real excuse for that. I mean,
Just the game in general. I mean, lost at home to Marshall.
yeah. Yeah.
And they beat UNC. Give
Yeah,
them
the
that.
team with no defense.
Yeah, they've not had a good season.
They had
And
one good defensive game, and I don't think it was their defense. I think it was just how bad Virginia Tech's offense was. And still is. And Virginia Tech's offense is so bad. Head coach Brent Pry, after losing to Miami, the post-game press conference, he stated that the offense is too vanilla and that he's going to have a talking with his offensive staff. So he was calling out his coordinators on that one, which thank God he did because Fuente never did, and that pisses you off more than anything.
a game that I actually just thought about is I think actually as of right now possibly maybe second or third game of the season so far. USC versus Utah.
Yeah, that was a really good game.
Utah won it with 48 seconds left by going for two. I thought they were just going to kick the extra point and take it to OT. They said, nope, we're going for it right now. And
Yeah.
they did. And they got it. They
You're at
won.
home, you go for the win.
It's a ballsy call. One that, you don't get it. You get shit on. You do it. You're praised. And
Yeah.
it worked for them. It worked for Whittingham. And, man, was it. I mean, that could be their play of the season. They thought maybe that they were out of it after their loss to UCLA, and they're right back in the mix now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They do have a shot at the Pac-12.
Even in loss, Caleb Williams played one hell of a game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's not.
he's really good.
I don't think it hurt his Heisman chances.
No, absolutely not.
But man, tough way for USC to grab their first loss of the season.
Here's another Pac-12 game. Went to overtime. Colorado picks up their first win over California.
Woo!
20-13.
But yeah,
in fact, the fans stormed the field after they won.
I would too. Jesus, I mean, they've been losing. They've been getting the shit kicked out of them. I would have been the only one if nobody else decided to. I'd have gone in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Like, we won! Oh my God!
Um,
But yeah, that's a great. It was definitely a great week of college football. I think it absolutely lived up to all of the hype that it got. I thought after the first that Penn State Michigan game, I was like, man, I really hope this isn't just a good week of blowouts.
yeah.
And the night teams, they
Well, there were several upsets. I mean, Coastal Carolina took their first loss to Old Dominion. And it wasn't close. It was 49-21.
somebody's got to lose.
Yeah. It was a blowout, but Coastal Carolina was 6-0 going into that game. Old Dominion was 2-3. Liberty only beat Gardner Webb, who's like one of the worst FCS teams this year, 21-20. At home.
UCLA had their space uniforms on. They were pretty sick, and they got the job done, and they dropped 70 on Temple.
Yeah. Temple is not good this year.
We get 70 dropped on you? Get 70. You have to be a special kind of bad to get 70 dropped on you.
Yeah, I believe UCF was favored by, I want to say about 30 in this one. And they said double it.
They kicked the shit out of them. But yeah, I think it was a great week of college football. highly doubt that this week lives up to that.
Oh,
But there's still a few good games.
Michigan State picked up a big win over Wisconsin.
Yeah, and all the 10 people that give a shit were happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's big for Mel Tucker.
Yeah, he can go fuck himself.
Yeah, I guess that's about it for any game worth mentioning.
Nebraska lost.
Yeah, they did. They almost came back though. I mean, they spotted.
They just won't give up the one possession games.
No, yeah, they won't. I mean, they were down 10-0 after the first, and then it was 27-13 after at halftime, and then Nebraska decided to make a comeback. After being down 27-13 at the end of the third, it was 34-30. And then Purdue just scored 9 in the fourth, and Nebraska scored 7.
But they lost.
They lost.
Rip them.
You know, I think Auburn would have won had they not spotted Ole Miss 21 points to start the game with 3 turnovers.
Okay, Auburn fan, let's calm down. What do you think about the Heisman race?
I think it's Hendon Hooker, C.J. Stroud, DTR, and Bryce Young. Those are the big 4. The 5th is kind of spotty right now. A lot of people, want to put Adrian Martinez in there. People want to put Duggan in there.
It's still Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it is. I was watching something. I guess it was after the Tennessee game. People talking about Will Levis being a great NFL quarterback prospect.
They won't give it up.
I don't know why they won't give it up. He's not that good.
I keep seeing it, and it's Anthony Richardson and Will Levis are there.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson too. Yeah, I don't get that.
They won't give it up. Like, I don't understand what season they're watching this year, but I don't get it. I think, in my opinion, I think that this top 5 probably going to be pretty solidified. The only people I guess I could see maybe sneaking in, I guess Max Duggan is one of them. Just because, as long as TCU is undefeated, the more that goes on, the more that's going to get traction. But Bryce Young, CJ Hendon, DTR, Caleb Williams for me right now. Blake Corum maybe is another one that you could say maybe could get his name in there. But as of right now, I think that this race pretty much between Hendon Hooker and CJ.
Yeah.
I think the other 3 are there, trying to just back up just in case someone.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Hendon and CJ are 1 and 2, but maybe tied for first, both of them. I think if the season ended now, I think it would be a very, very close vote between those 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be super close. I saw some Ohio State fans, I guess, and a Pitt fan arguing over Hendon Hooker and Stroud being the Heisman frontrunner on Twitter. And one was arguing that Tennessee had a harder strength of schedule. The other one said, well, strength of schedule doesn't matter because quarterbacks can't pick that. And they proceeded to say, yeah, but they beat this team, this team, this team. And I was like, well, you're going to argue that the quarterback doesn't pick the schedule and then argue that they should be the Heisman frontrunner because they beat this team, and this team. So total hypocrisy.
Twitter arguments are never
And
flawless.
they're not. Yeah, they're not very intellectual.
And here's the thing: is it 100% matters who you play,
Yeah, they're like,
and it's just
well,
that's the way it's going to be.
one guy was like, well, Hendon Hooker literally just beat Tennessee, and the other guy was like, oh yeah, well, that doesn't matter because Hooker didn't pick the schedule. C.J. Stroud did this. It has better numbers on paper.
And the Heisman has never been picked off paper stats.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, I would pick Hooker. Between the two right now. But there's a lot of football left to be played to determine that.
Oh yeah. If the Heisman was picked off of stats on paper, then Donald Pumphrey probably would have won it when he was at San Diego State. And that, I guess,
or Toby Gerhart would have won it over Mark Ingram.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not based on stats.
No, because if it was based on stats, then how many G5 quarterbacks would have won.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That guy who I can't remember his name went to Hawaii, I guess.
Oh, Colton Brennan.
Yeah.
Yep. Bailey Zappe, remember?
Yeah. At Western Kentucky.
Yeah, he would have won it if it's based on stats. It's not how the Heisman works.
If it was based on stats, then Penix would be winning it right now. But he's not even in the conversation.
Well, that's his own fault. He shouldn't have lost.
Lost to Arizona State.
I prayed on that one.
Yeah, you did. You prayed on the downfall.
But yeah, schedule matters. It always has, always will.
Yep.
You can't pick and choose years that it doesn't matter. And Cragen picked SMU because it would be cool, by the way.
I'm sorry. I didn't read anything past him picking Syracuse.
That's what he said. He said SMU because it would be cool.
He also said TCU to continue their undefeated record over 9 a.m. and Deuce Vaughn. No football reason, just go Horned Frogs.
I can go with that.
And then he said Heisman Watch Battle of LA could get Caleb Williams versus DTR for Heisman.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it too.
There would have to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say doubt it. It's just as of right now, it doesn't seem likely.
I mean, DTR definitely has, and Caleb Williams are definitely in the conversation.
It's not in the conversation. It's just with the rate that it's going right now.
Oh,
SEC,
yeah, with Stroud and Hooker, yeah.
Their strength of schedule and their Heisman moment calculator is so high that those are two massive games. And if something were to happen with Hooker and Stroud, yeah, 100%, those two games could end up determining who was Heisman. But it doesn't seem likely at this moment.
Yeah. Do you think we saw Hooker's Heisman moment this past week? Maybe not one of those big 50-plus yard passes that went for a touchdown, but I was thinking more the end of the game when he was poised, stood in the pocket, found his guy, and got into field goal range.
No. I think if, is it still in New York? Is that where they do the ceremony?
Yeah.
I think if he is in New York and he's a serious contender, they're going to show, those highlights, but he's going to, if he were to win Heisman, his Heisman moment has to come in Athens. in front of an away crowd of the
Okay.
defending champions.
Yeah.
He does something crazy that game. He probably clinches the Heisman at that moment.
I think Tennessee's staff will absolutely find a way to. I mean, this is talk for that game, but for when it comes around. But I'm going to tell you right now, I just think I've got a lot of faith in Tennessee's offensive staff to find holes in Georgia's defense and
We'll
create
see.
the same mismatches they had against Tennessee.
We'll see. I mean, look, Tennessee, they just played a massive game. Now they have a huge in-state rivalry against UT Martin.
And then they get Kentucky.
They got to get past the Skyhawks first, which I don't even know if that's their name, but it is now. And, but no, seriously, when do they play? Is it next week?
No, it's the week. They get Kentucky next week, and then at Georgia on November 5th.
Damn it! Why did they always have to have these good games when NC State has a home game?
I don't know, man.
But yeah, we'll see how this week goes. I think it could be a very straightforward week, except for a couple games. I think not even just because it's game day, but I think the game of the week this week is UCLA Oregon.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited for that game to see that matchup.
I'm just excited for Virginia Tech to have a bye week. I just want to see how they come back from being so bad in the first half of the season. Well, a little over half, but first 6 games, so or 7 games.
They're not exactly walking into an offensive powerhouse in Carter Finley. So,
well, we're not bringing an offensive powerhouse to Finley, so
it's gonna be the most god awful, boring fucking game.
It's gonna be like Virginia Tech versus NC State in basketball a few years ago when the score was 43-28 final or whatever it was.
I'm going to the game because I took work off, so
yeah.
might as well. Like, I really don't want to go.
I need to figure out. I'm sure Auburn is at home the same week that Tennessee travels to Athens, because I think I don't know. It might be away. That might be their last away game before going to Alabama. That's week 10. Yeah. Because if Auburn is not at home, I will go to Athens.
Fuck no! You see how expensive those tickets are?
Yeah, I will go to Athens. Tickets as low as $524. You know what? It's just as good on TV.
Fubo TV, but you'll buy a ticket to Georgia Tech.
It's gonna be a good game, man.
You are not real. I hope they at least make Who do we play? We played Boston College that week, I think.
No, you get Wake Forest.
Oh, fuck. They're going to make that a goddamn night game. Leave me alone. Let me watch football.
Let's see. Syracuse is at Pittsburgh that week. Texas is at Kansas State that week. And Clemson goes to Notre Dame that week.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah. Oh, those are your current top 25 teams playing that week.
But yeah, so interesting week. I think I'm sad the season's already so far over, but it's been a good season and I think there's a lot of good in store. So
yeah, I agree.
We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I might have to head out. So
yeah, me as well. It has been a good one. we got to reconvene earlier in the week. If Cragen can't make it, Cragen just can't make it. We're just going to have to deal with that. I would much rather do this on a Sunday or Monday than a Thursday 2 days before all the games, or while there's one going on. But
I mean, game going on yesterday too.
yeah, well, did also mean it wasn't Power 5. Who was it?
App State and Georgia State.
Yeah, and Georgia State was up 14-0 and then lost 42-17.
Yeah.
Terrible. All right, but if there's nothing left to be said, that will do it for this episode of the Shades of Red podcast. We will catch you all next week, and good night.